America, we absolutely should have a conversation. Received some interesting news regarding the Social Security 2100 Act, which we have been discussing, and is a measure available to get more monies out to you in many cases. For those of you out there, as well as even adding more percentage points to the cost of living adjustment, we will discuss all this in great detail up to $440 extra a month. 14 yes, 14 significant improvements they are working on in this proposal for Social Security that would find their way down the road. Today, we will thus review the top 7. Hence, this is a video if you are on Social Security, or you know someone on Social Security, or even if you yourself will be on Social Security in a few years, you absolutely want to view this movie to the end, since we will be hearing from more senators, but at least the top 14 details of what they are attempting to do on your behalf. And as I mentioned, one of them is to get the extra $440 out to you folks right now. Before we go, I am here to provide all the facts. Bogus, no fluffed up information is not what I want here. What is happening in politics today? Thank you everybody for clicking that alert and for subscriptions. Bell, so you obtain the most recent and excellent information derived from updates. We have been waiting for the longest, and regarding Social Security, I mean the longest for someone to act. Congressman, I can hear your emotion. You mentioned this today, but you have also mentioned this on the House floor over a year. Social Security is an earned benefit rather than an entitlement. So, let's get right to the point. Congress has not improved this program over more than 50 years to enable your constituents are more readily available. Often per single one of our districts gets more than $200 million per month for Social Security recipients. So, it is most likely the strongest economic development strategy we have. And where do we start? They use that money they spend straight back in the district. When you consider the fact that 10,000 baby boomers a day qualify for Social Security, and they look, I can't help but get offended, and say, well, what's happening? Why hasn't Congress acted? We have a proposition out there that Congress should do, vote, so where do you think's absent? Therefore, from the national conversation, when it comes to Social Security, since you stated this story hasn't been told yet, when it comes to the age, so what's missing here, I guess? What's missing here? I'm more familiar with the House since they won't even put it to the committee, for a vote. Missing here is the desire to vote, and currently the scenario whether the House or the Senate. Hence, I find the concern incomprehensible, as many Republicans have told me, personally and honestly, that they would vote for this measure, etc., but their leadership and donors have an issue for it. And this is another issue I find confusing for every company, paying half of the Social Security, meaning the employer pays part and the employee pays part, yet the employer gets a tax right off for that part. So it's not costing the company anything, and what it's doing is help narrow, as you pointed out before, the great wealth gap that exists. Image 5 million Americans, most of them. By the way, Brittany women get below poverty level checks from the government having worked and paid into the system. Why? Because they were the care providers. They were home with their children, or a sick member in their family, and while they were working, we know they were making considerably less than their male counterparts. So fast forward to now, 10,000 baby boomers a day become eligible for Social Security. That's why I believe particularly, as those baby boomers are having their kitchen table conversations and conversations with their accounts lawyers, or just family members, reveal, what's the matter with this Social Security? We paid into this. Why hasn't there been an adjustment or change reflecting? The demands of today are what we aim to address with Secure 2100. Already discussing doing something about the debt ceiling they are already talking about for the budget the Republicans want to provide. Breaks to businesses. But what about seniors? That year is ideal for them to stand up and contribute to Social Security. Currently, as I indicated, this is the moment for businesses. Have 14 good adjustments they wish to make to Social Security. First, we will review the first 7. Then the second video will be shown after first 7. I'm excited about this particular Create the Social Security 2100 Act. 14 things that will change we're going to go after you learn about the first 7. All right, I assure you we'll be thrilled. We will review all 7 over 7 things they are aiming to change in this video, and then in the next. You will hear what the next 7 of the 14 revisions are. We will hear from more lawmakers on the significance of passing this act. Thus, strive to do now to ensure you stay to the finish of this video. First thing they want to do is stop future cuts to the average salary index. This is what they use right now when computing your COLA as well. So what they are trying to achieve is have it turned over to the CP. One thing they want to accomplish, but also another is this. Should wages decline in the United States not affect social second item they want to improve, is their earning credit for caregivers. The number 2, calls of a person retiring and getting their Social Security at the age of 62, is having, whether it is a child or a spouse, taking care of a loved one requires early retirement and forfeits the advantages of being able to retire. Regarding 66 or 67 years old, or even 70 years old, what they wish to accomplish in the Social Security 2100 Act is ensure that at least for up to 5 years you have workers. Credits in other terms, even if you receive Social Security, you are going to still get a certain number of benefits, so by the time you turn 65, 66, 67, you would be able to receive those workers' credits instead of missing the credits since you retired at 62. Another thing they wish to do is cut off waiting for your disability payments. Indeed, for an individual, their average length of 5 months right now is, while average, we know a lot of individuals have to wait a lot more. What they are trying to do right now is what they are trying to earn till it is just. Wait for their initial handicap payments to arrive. One of the first full months. It takes roughly 1 month for you to get this benefit, also in terms of handicap. Number 4 is what they want to do. Take away or eradicate the cliffs. This how disability works. The first few months are known as the extended period of eligibility. You are essentially on a type of probation. What it is that the first 36 months, you're on disability and you're working. Let's pretend you're a person on disability and you still have a job. If you make $1 over what you're meant to make first month, because you're on probation for the first 3 years, you lose that month's disability just because you made $1 extra. Let's say you made it through the 36 months and you receive your full disability while you're working. If at any point after the 36-month trial period, you go full-time with your disability, you made it through the 36 months, you are still working full-time. You are still getting benefits. This is what transpires should you earn an additional dollar at any moment in time pertaining to your advantages. It makes no difference if it's 5 years, 10 years from now. You could lose your handicap payments. They are trying to eradicate that. What they are now doing is in this bill is all that will happen is you will lose a specific amount of funds off of your monthly payment. Not your whole payment. You shouldn't have to forfeit your complete payment because you made $1 additional, and they are working to eradicate number 5 in this sense. Their goal is to raise the current minimum Social Security payout, $897 a month, for someone who worked averagely up to 30 years. So what they are attempting to do is make sure you are nowhere near the poverty level by putting you 125% over the poverty line. For individuals that work 30 years, this adjustment would represent, after they change it all, persons that receive the minimum will receive an extra $440 a month to keep individual seniors out of poverty. Number 6 choices for surviving calculation. In other words, what they want to do. It will calculate adding together 75% of the surviving spouse's benefits and 75% of the benefits of the deceased spouse. That's what they want to accomplish, as far as making sure you obtain those cash. Number 7. Boost gains following 15 years of eligibility. If you have been on Social Security, either starting at 62, 6, 7, or 66, or even 70 years old, what do they mean by that? If you have been on Social Security for at least 15 years on your 16th year, you will automatically earn a 1% raise that does not even account for your cost of living adjustment. The next one will be if you have been on it for 17 years. You get a 2% raise 18 years hence, and so forth, as they understand that the older we become, the more costly things are, including our medical needs and our medication, our insurance and premiums. These are the top 7 of the 14 adjustments they are seeking for you about the Social Security 2100 Act. Presently, we are going to view a video pretty soon of the congressman provided we have more information about this proposal. Regarding your argument, Social Security should definitely cut across political boundaries impacting both Democrat and Republican